Ralph Zuranski. I'm creator of the In Search of Heroes program, and I'm on the phone with Jason James. He's a young and upcoming star on the internet who's been very successful in marketing membership sites for eBay and is now coming out with a revolutionary product, and I think it's on July 11th. Isn't that right, Jason?
Yes, the launch for that product, which is called Uncut Internet Marketing, will launch July 11th.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. I'm actually from Massachusetts, and I was in the military for 4 years. And when I got out, I was looking for something to do, so a lot of my friends had been actually making money online, in their spare time, doing things with, eBay and such, and in all these different areas, like a lot of affiliate marketing, stuff like that. So I got really interested in it. And so I thought, I'm not a 9-to-5 kind of guy, so I started exploring the different areas, and what I came up with was, it sort of just hit me like a ton of bricks, like, wow, this eBay thing is unbelievable. So I got my start selling online with eBay and selling a few things from around the house, and that's that.
Uh-huh. Well, let me ask you a few questions about heroes, because you're pretty young. I think you're still just right around 29, aren't you?
I turned 29 in April of this year, which is 2006.
Yeah, and so the Heroes program is to help inspire young people on how to be successful in business as an entrepreneur. And so the first question I wanted to ask you is, what is the worthy ideal you're pursuing with honesty and integrity?
Well, in business, I don't think you can go very far if you're not someone that's very honest and you don't have integrity, because when you're going to things such as live conferences and seminars and you go out and meet people, people form an opinion of you, and people can see, at least I can sort of get a feel for what type of person, I'm speaking with. Is this person a good person of, good moral character, and are they an honest person? And for young people, I think it's very important to be honest, to have a high level of integrity. So that's what I would say to answer that.
Okay, and what do you want out of life in 10 words or less?
Well, out of life in 10 words or less, well, I would like to be remembered for making a difference in people's lives, and I would also just like to be very simple. I've had the same thing, the same goal since I was young, and that was just to be happy, to live a happy life, and like I said, make a difference in people's lives also.
What is the dream or vision that sets the course of your life?
Well, like I just mentioned, I've been very fortunate with my online business, and it's funny when you're starting out with an online business, you're just going for like money, and me, and at least that's the way it was for me when I was starting out. But as you come into a little bit of success and the money's there, and for me personally, all I want to do now is sort of help people achieve success, because it's just so rewarding to see when other people are at a certain point and they're struggling, and sort of give them guidance and take them on this path of I hate my job, I want to start an internet business, this is my idea, this is what I want to do, and set them up and give them advice and consult them and mentor them and sort of take them along this path and see them achieve success. For me, being someone that emails me with like a glowing testimonial, like, thank you so much for your help. I was able to make this much money, and I was able to, buy a new car or whatever. That to me is very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Well, how important is it to stay focused on a primary goal?
Well, it's very important. And setting goals in general in life and in business is very important. I'm creating a product right now, and I'm just sort of poured my heart and soul into it. And if I wasn't into it, you'd be able to see that, in the product itself. And when people would be dealing with me, they would see my attitude and how I was approaching things. So when you're focused on a goal and you don't let external things distract you, that's very important to stay focused and to just take small steps each day to reach your goal.
Mm-hmm. Do you follow your hunches and intuition?
Sometimes. I prefer to go with things that are more fact-based. I'm not a guy that has a hunch and just acts on it. I'm more of a good decision maker, and I get facts and make good, educated decisions.
What is the specific philosophy or philosophies that guide your life and your decisions?
Well, like we first talked about, I think it's very important to be a person of high moral character and to be an honest person. And like I mentioned before also, when you come into success, I think it's very important to thank those who have helped you and to give back to people that want to get where you're at. I think it's very important to help, to just give of yourself and not to be selfish and think me, because I've been there, and it's not a very pleasant place to be, and you don't make a lot of friends that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to give of yourself and to be almost selfless in your life, and think of the other person first, when you're making decisions, and try to put yourself in other people's shoes. And so.
Mm-hmm. Well, what place does the power of prayer have in your life?
It has a big place in my life, actually. I attend church most Sundays when I can. I pray every few days. Actually, I wasn't that religious and into prayer, but I've been seeing a girl who, for the past few years, and she really got me into it, and I could not believe up until the time I met her, that prayer and belief in God and having faith was not a part of my life. So more and more each day, prayer is becoming a bigger and bigger part of my life, and I think it's very important to have that spiritual connection. So prayer for me has a huge part of my life.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think that prayer and having that spiritual connection with God and just having a spiritual relationship with somebody that has the same guiding principles as you do you think that that's helpful in helping you attain a happy place?
Absolutely. My girlfriend that I've been seeing for 3 years, and hopefully soon to be my wife, she sort of, when I met her, things were not at a great place in my life, and weird, when I met her, I started becoming more into prayer and into going to church, and into my path of my life sort of just got better and better and better, and I attribute a lot of that to her, and she really set me on the right path, and she, it's easy in life to make bad decisions and go on the wrong path, but when you have someone there by your side to always remind you to do the right thing, you shouldn't do that. It's always guide you to make good decisions, and that's very important. So my girlfriend has been there by my side and always led me on the right path.
Well, it's valuable to have somebody like that. Well, are your goals and actions consistent with your beliefs?
I would say they are, absolutely. I have written down my goals, and I write a daily action plan every night before I go to bed. And when I talk to people and do even simple things like email, and I try to, I'm always going to be myself, but part of being myself is having those core beliefs of honesty and integrity. It's very important to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that you spent a little bit of time in the Marine Corps, and there's always that question of what are you willing to sacrifice your life for? Well,
I would sacrifice my life for others, really. Actually, I was joking about this with my girlfriend the other day, and we were having a conversation. It was very silly. It was about taking a bullet, and I'm like, I just got 2 new puppies, and she's like, would you risk your life for those puppies? I'm like, I would. They're just 4-month-old little miniature pinchers, and I love them so much, and I would just, bullet was coming at them, I'd jump in front of it, or a truck was more appropriate, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would basically, I feel that I'm important, but I also place a very high value on other life, animals, people.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it valuable to have highly charged emotions about achieving your goals?
Most definitely. I think having a passion for what you do really shows to other people, and having a passion for what you do will, I think, you'll be more successful when you have, highly charged emotions, when you're passionate about what you do, and you just put your heart and soul into something, and, just put yourself into a project. It's very important, and I think when your heart's into something, life can go by much easier, as opposed to something that you're fighting and you're not into, and you have emotions, but they're negative emotions. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it useful to take a positive view of setbacks, misfortunes, and mistakes?
Absolutely. I've had, tons of, not bad things happen to me, but unfortunate experiences. I've been there where I've been fired from a job. I had money problems. I had my car repossessed. I had big-time credit problems. And I've learned from all these different things. They can all be learning experiences. Granted, I'm only 29 years old, but I've been through a few things that have really helped me now where I'm at in a place in my life to sort of learn from where I've been. I've been down in the dumps. I've been there with no money, no prospects for a job, being a college dropout. So I've been there, and all these things that have happened to me have contributed to where I'm at now, which is I run a pretty successful business, and I'm happy with where I'm at. And I was just recently, in January of this year, able to buy a house, and I bought a car, paid for it in cash, and so I really attribute my success to having been in a bad place and having learned from those experiences.
Mm-hmm. But when you do have setbacks, misfortunes, and mistakes, is it important to have optimism?
Absolutely. Because no matter how bad things get for me or for anyone that's listening to this, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You can't appreciate, life now as it is if you don't have a feeling for how bad it could be. Or I don't know if I said that properly, but when you're down and you're not where you want to be, it's always very important to just stay positive, stay working towards your goals, and stay optimistic. That's very helpful and very important.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that it's important to maintain a sense of humor in face of serious problems?
I do. I've never been a big worrier. Things could be going wrong in my life, but I always joke about them. When my car got repossessed, I laughed it off. As serious as that is, because I had no car.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I got fired from my job, couldn't get there, and the utter damage to my credit report, which is so important, especially these days, because everything's based on your credit.
Mm-hmm. And
I just kind of, it's a learning experience. It happens, and I'll learn from it, and I'll learn never to buy a car that I can't afford with, $500 payments, and I'm only making, $800 a month, so.
Wow, what kind of car was that?
It was a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Mm.
When they first came out with the new model.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got one, which is really stupid. Cars are a depreciating asset. I wouldn't, unless you're really doing well, I wouldn't go out and buy one that you can't afford. A car is just transportation from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
There's, especially these days, there's kids who have these fancy cars. That 3/4 of their monthly income is going to pay for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you invest time in daydreaming about what your life will be like when you attain your goals?
I actually do, all the time, because I have these goals for my business and for myself. I have goals I'm not a material person, but, I've worked really hard, and one of the things that I want is I want a boat. I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia currently, originally from Boston, but there's a dock up the street, and I want a nice, modest boat to just go out on the water one day and relax. And I feel that I've worked hard for that, and that's my goal, to have a boat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I also think about throughout the day, just being able to, do things like pay for my child's college education in full when I do have a child someday. And my girlfriend is actually struggling right now. She's in a tough place in her life with her job. She doesn't like her job. She's not making a lot of money. She has a mortgage. Her roommate moved out. She's struggling financially.
Yeah, it's important to have positive thoughts. Do you feel it's important to make positive statements about yourself? the type of person you are and your goals?
I think it's important to make statements. For me personally, I write stuff down all the time. I keep goals on paper, and I have Post-it notes all over the place. And right in my office, I have, on a big, huge piece of paper, I have characteristics of success. Things like desire and drive, determination, commitment, dedication, discipline, courage. So I have stuff all over the place with, sort of positive affirmations all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Do you feel that it takes courage to pursue new ideas?
It does take courage. I'm actually in the middle of like I mentioned earlier, I'm in the middle of a product launch right now. And, it was very hard for me to get started, because as you're working really, really hard on something, as you get started and you're working really hard on something, you don't know where it's going to lead, You're just not sure if, should I even be doing this? Is this going to work? Should I be doing something else that's, going to make me money? Or it's just very hard, because when you're working hard on something, for me in this new project, I have thousands of affiliates that have said they would help me promote this thing, and have 20 different contributors, people who have made a video for this website and put it together. And, there's times of doubt where, I've invested all this time and this money, and, is this really going to work out? Is this going to happen for me? And so there's always times of doubt, and I think it's just important to just take each day as it comes and just keep working hard towards your goals, and put the rest in the hands of God. And so.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think it's important to be willing to experience discomfort in the pursuit of your dreams? Because, just as you say, whenever you have a dream and you're pursuing it, there are times of doubt and discouragement. So how important is it to be willing to experience that discomfort?
Well, that's, nothing great was ever achieved without, some discomfort involved. If you want to be, successful in online business, for example, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to attend live seminars. You have to email people. You have to get on the phone. If you want to arrange a joint venture or something. People just like to just, it's an American thing, I think, to just be lazy and find the easy way and expect things to be done for them. It's very common in our society. But if you want to be successful, I think it's very important to sort of step out of your comfort zone and do the things that are difficult for you, whatever it may be. So I think, when you're doing something, you're going to experience, doing something worthwhile, you're going to experience discomfort. There's going to be things that you don't want to do. I think that's just natural, and if you work through those things, you'll be better in the end for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think it's important and beneficial to make decisions quickly?
Definitely. Me personally, I'm a quick decision maker. Just last night I was with my girlfriend at dinner, and we've been to this restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant several times. I look at the menu for maybe 30, 45 seconds. I sort of review it, and then boom, I know what I want. My girlfriend, who's been to this place several times, this is a recurring theme. She just takes forever. She has to keep telling the waiter or the waitress to come back because I don't know what I want yet. And it's like, pick something, And I think in business, you have to be a quick decision maker. You have to think really quickly, Am I going to pursue this or am I not going to pursue this? Am I going to do this? Am I not going to do that? And you can waste a lot of time, dwelling on things that you don't need to be dwelling on. I think it's important to be a quick decision maker and to explore things in as much detail as possible, make a decision, and move on.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you make a decision, are you slow to revise or reverse that important decision?
Well, me personally, no. I'm not slow at all. I think business is sort of about adapting to change and adapting to things that happen. If I make a decision and I'm not happy with it, I will revise or reverse it pretty quickly. I'm not slow at all to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one to take action quickly, and
Well, in the pursuit of your goals and your dreams, I know you're in the military for a while, and you've been challenged by loss of your job, loss of your car, and I know that creates doubts and fears. how are you able to overcome your doubts and fears?
Well, just by not having any choice and sort of realizing that, this is my life. This is the only life I'll ever have. This is the life that God gave me. You just sort of have to have, that hope that there's better times ahead. You just sort of have to keep moving forward, take one day at a time, take things one day at a time, and do small things each and every day that will move you towards your goals. For me, in those really, really difficult times, I woke up each day feeling, really badly about myself, but there was also this small part of me that was like, well, things are bad now, and they can't get much worse, so there's going to be better times ahead. I know there is. I have faith that there is, and so.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think that it's important to readily forgive those who upset, offend, and oppose you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah. Do you readily forgive those who upset, offend, and oppose you?
I do, actually. I learned this a long time ago. Like, if for example, someone wronged you, or if someone did something to you that you didn't think was right, I think the power of forgiveness is great, I can relate this to maybe online business. If someone, for example, sort of, screws you over in some way online, and, time passes, and then as you come back, and maybe that person comes back and they email you in the future, and they say, maybe, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have done that, that was wrong, I apologize. A lot of people would say, you know what, forget you, I'm not going to work with you. But for me personally, I think the power of forgiveness is powerful, because, what good does holding a grudge have? What good does saying, no, I'm not going to work with you, you wronged me? When you forgive someone, what you end up with is a friendship and experiences, and you know about that person, and they came back, and they forgave you, and what you have, like I said, is a friendship, and you have a future business relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the stance that I'm going to hold a grudge, I'm not working with you, what do you have then? You have an enemy. You don't have that business relationship. You don't have that friendship. I think to forgive is very important, no matter how hard it may be. Sometimes people make mistakes, and if they're willing to admit those mistakes, I think it's very important to forgive.
Well, I know that you've had a few low points in your life, but what was the lowest point in your life, and how did you change your life path to one of victory over the obstacles you were facing at that time?
Well, the lowest point in my life was when I got my car repossessed. I had credit card debt, 4 different maxed-out credit cards. I had quit college. I lived with my parents. I had no car, no money, no job. It was a really awful, awful time. I was actually able to join the military, which I think is one of the best decisions I ever made. And I joined the Marines, which, I don't know if you know a lot about the Marines, but that's one of the toughest, most disciplined branches in the world. Just the 3 months of the basic training itself was the most challenging time I've ever had in my life. So when I had entered, I was sort of in this awful place, but I got a new sense of hope when I joined the military, and I saw that, I have a lot to offer, I have a lot to offer the world. I'm a smart person, and, I'm serving my country. People are writing me letters saying, thank you for serving, and, good luck in the future. And so I spent 4 years in the Marines, and, I accomplished a lot of great things. I had my graduating class at my school. I was in school for a year and a half to learn my job. I had the second highest GPA. I had the highest physical fitness score.
Wow.
And I got this award, which is called the Warrior Award. If you're in the Marines, you'll know that once you graduate your MOS school, MOS is being Military Occupational Specialist. That's the term for job in the military. I was awarded what's called a Warrior Award, which is voted on by your peers. Your peers vote who most exemplifies what it is to be a Marine, to have honor, courage, and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was voted that by my peers. You know,
Wow.
there's a very special ceremony. I was in my dress uniform, and I was awarded that. And that meant a lot to me, you know, because when I joined the military 2 years before that moment, I was just in an awful place, and in 2 short years, I was in this wonderful place. You know, I was the envy of others. I was in great shape. You know, had a lot of things going for me. I had great grades in my military school. I got this award, and it was crazy how that changed my life. And then I went on to serve, and then when I got out, I had just this really unbelievable outlook on life. You know, I was so positive, and I was ready to take something and run with it. And that, at the time, happened to be eBay, which to this day is just an unbelievable, quick and easy way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so powerful, and the traffic that eBay gets, millions and millions each day, is such a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, what would you say were the things that you learned when you were in the military? Because we have our military over in Iraq fighting there now, and your life was at its lowest point, and you say that your training in the Marines actually changed your life around. What exactly did you learn?
well, first and foremost, I would say discipline. Having a task and having the discipline to follow through and accomplish that task. Before the military, I was one to start a lot of things, never finish. So I learned discipline. I learned to respect authority. I learned, and this is very important, if you see any of my web pages, you'll notice this, that I'm a perfectionist. One of the big things in the Marines is attention to detail. I mean, we're talking about a thread on your uniform that's not supposed to be there, a tiny little wrinkle on your pants, on your dress uniform that's not supposed to be there, a little scuff mark on your shoes that's not supposed to be there, not having a shave, because we shave every single day. That's not perfect. Just attention to detail in everything that you do. You know, in relating to online business, that could be like, spell checking stuff, or having, you're releasing new products, totally testing the whole system so that it works, and having everything down to a T. So attention to detail and the core values of the Marine Corps are honor, courage, and commitment. And those things hold a strong place in my life to this day.
I think that's probably something that would help everybody, wouldn't it?
Certainly. I think it would.
Well, how important is it to believe in your financial dreams and that they'll eventually become reality?
It's very important, because you have to have, a goal that you want to reach, because otherwise you're not really heading anywhere unless you have a goal. And for a lot of people, they have financial goals, which is fine. I have financial goals and dreams. I want to make, X amount of money per month. I'm nowhere close to that right now. But each day that passes, I'm taking steps to get there. I have a goal, so I know where I want to head, and I know where I want to be heading. And once I achieve those goals, certain things in my life will be easier. I won't have to work as much, and I'll be able to, buy that boat. And so it sort of motivates me, once I have those financial dreams and goals to get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, having been in the military and met a lot of people that are putting their lives on the front line, what is your definition of heroism?
Heroism is, I believe, giving of yourself for a greater cause. And talking about the military, I think the military is one of the most selfless things someone can do. I actually have a younger brother that just got out of the Marines, and he served 4 tours of duty. He was in Iraq twice, and also in Afghanistan twice. And, he's a young kid, 21 years old, and he was actually what's called an 0311, which is an infantryman. He was in the front lines. He's, had incoming fire, and he fired on enemies. And a 21-year-old kid out there risking his life so that us Americans can live a comfortable, safe life. To me, my brother is a hero. And if you serve in the military, I believe you're a hero, because you're giving possibly your life for a greater cause. And that's, so we here in America can live, the cozy life that we live.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you ever create a secret hero in your mind that helped you deal with life's difficulties?
Secret hero? I wouldn't say I have a secret hero. I have ideals that I like to live up to, and I sort of see myself in a certain way. So I don't think I have a secret hero, but I sort of have this not secret, but this sort of ideal that I try to live up to and try to hold myself up to. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, other than your brother, who are the heroes in your life now?
Currently, I would say first and foremost my parents, because they've been through a lot. They never really had money. My mom was a secretary. Is a secretary to this day. My dad, a factory worker. And, those are not very high-income jobs. And I have two brothers also. And they work, their butt off to give my brothers and I the life that we had, which was a pretty good life. It was a middle-class life. We didn't have really all these great things, but, when I was 16, I was able to have a car, and I had clothes on my back, and I always had the nicest sneakers, and my parents are just tremendous role models for the value of hard work and what hard work can do, and being selfless so that, my mom and dad, they wanted their sons to have a great life, so they just worked, all week long, really, really hard, and a lot of their money and their resources and their time went to ensuring that their sons had a great life. And as far as business, I have role models in business. There's certain people out there that I look up to, certain people that have that honesty and integrity, and they run a business like I want to run someday, and they have the income that I want to have someday. And there's a whole bunch of different people out there. So I'd say first and foremost my parents, and then just various marketers, not going to name names, but there's a few of them out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, how important is it to have trusted friends and a mastermind group to bounce your ideas off?
I think it's very important because so many ideas come when you're talking to someone with a like mind. I'm in internet marketing. When I'm talking to other internet marketers, just for a very short time, it's amazing the ideas that just start flowing because we have like minds, we're on the same wavelength. All these great ideas come from when you're talking to people. Whether it be through email or instant messenger or on the phone or at a live seminar, because you sort of have, like I said, the same mindset, and you just bounce these ideas off each other. And just all these great ideas result from having friends and people that you can communicate with. And so.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you feel there are any heroes in our society that aren't getting the recognition that they deserve?
Well, I think there is, yeah. I think teachers are a group that comes to mind. Teachers get paid, like crap, let's be honest, and, where would we be without education and teachers?
Mm-hmm.
And, they dedicate their lives to teaching others. Also, going back to the military, people that serve in the military, I don't think, while there is a lot done to recognize people in the military, I don't think it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifices that some of these kids especially make, I don't think they're getting recognized enough because they really are heroes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I totally agree with that. Well, why are heroes so important in the lives of young people?
For me personally, I think heroes are important because you have someone to look up to, someone that has a set of ideals that you want to have when young people get older. They have someone to look up to and someone to model their lives after. For me, my parents, they worked so hard, and they're my heroes because their work ethic and their giving of themselves for a greater cause. It's just, to this day, it's ingrained in my mind how hard they've worked in their lives, and they're almost at retirement age, and they're still working.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not have a lot of money, but every birthday or every Christmas that rolls around, we always have something nice for us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're young and you're impressionable, I think it's very important to have someone to look up to, have someone that you want to be like when you get older.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are the things parents can do that will help their children realize that they too can be heroes and make a positive impact on the lives of others?
I think being positive with if I had a child, I would try to be positive with that child, and I would tell my child to be completely selfless, to think of other people first, to give, because life is very short, and it's not going to be that great of a life. When I get old, I don't want to sit there and look back and see what have I accomplished. If I had the attitude, well, I'm going to do things for me, I'm going to make all this money and keep it and not give to charities and not help people, I think that would be awful, if I'm sitting there on my deathbed and I didn't make a lot of difference in people's lives. So as parents, I think help their children realize that they can be heroes. They can just sort of be positive. They can be good role models themselves, and they can just teach them to give of themselves and try and make a difference in other people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, how does it feel to be recognized as an internet hero?
It feels great, actually, because it's funny because I was once at the point when I was first starting out that I was sort of like a sponge taking in information, and I still am. But I recently went to a seminar in November of 2005, and I got to speak for the first time. And it was like the tables were turned. It was really just a strange feeling, a good feeling, because people were literally lining up to talk to me and pick my brain. And it felt great, like these people were talking to me like I was some kind of god or something. And it changed my life because I have all these opportunities now that weren't there before. Just being known out there and having your name out there, it's great because all these different opportunities can lead to bigger and better things. And it's been great.
Well, why do you think you were selected for this unique honor?
Well, I think I was selected because, getting back to what we first talked about, I think I'm a good person. I have high moral values, honor, courage, and commitment. My values from the Marine Corps. And I try to take those things into my business and on a good, solid business and try to help a lot of people. I have a website that actually teaches people how to sell on eBay, and people that sign up to that website, they actually get to email me for a year with all their eBay questions. And I get tons of questions, and I just love answering those questions and helping people, get their auctions up and running and making money.
Well, I know I chose you as my expert for eBay, and chose you for a very good reason, because hopefully the Heroes program will help a lot of the military families be successful and make money on the internet, as well as honoring the heroes in their lives, the moms, the dads, the grandmas, the grandpas, their sons, their daughters, their husbands, the people that really are, as you say, laying their lives down so that we in the United States can have a comfortable life. Well, do you think that being recognized as an internet hero will change your life in any way?
Will it change my life? Well, it may. I mean, being recognized as a hero is great because people can now come to me and, they can see what I've accomplished. And I just want to help a lot of people. I just get so much joy out of helping people and being recognized as a hero. Hopefully more people come to me and look to me for advice, and I can make a difference in more people's lives, because I just love that when people start achieving their goals and getting from that tough place in their life, getting to a really happy place in their life. So that process and that road, being along that road with people, while difficult at times, the reward is just tremendous.
Well, do you have any good solutions to problems facing society, especially racism, child and spousal abuse, and violence among young people?
I really don't. I mean, those are just huge problems. I believe racism is alive and well in this country. Blacks and whites are, who knows if they'll ever get along. Abuse and violence, I think, is always going to be there. We can do things to prevent it and to educate people, but I just think it's always going to be there. We can do things to reduce it, like I said. And violence among young people, I just think there's not much you can do. You can control do what you can about the gun laws, or educate people that let's just try and make this world a happy place. But problems like that, I don't think there is one answer to it. There's just steps to minimize these things.
Well, as you said, I think you came up with one good answer, and that's education. educating people on what they need to know to be successful and to become people that can be successful.
Certainly. I think being educated and having the right frame of mind and knowing the things that you need to do
And
to make a difference in this world is very important.
And don't you think that having good role models is a good idea, too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you have a good role model, you have someone to look up to, someone that you can turn to, and, if you have a situation in your life, you can say, well, what would this person do, or what have they done in the past when this type of thing came up?
So I know in interviewing a lot of the heroes, a lot of them told me that they had virtual heroes like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Einstein. Even though they didn't know them personally, they actually read about their lives and then created those characters in their mind, and then whenever they had questions, they would go into their mind and ask those people questions, and they patterned their lives after the people that they wanted to become like.
I actually do have someone like that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Howard Hughes. He was an aviator, an engineer. The movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called The Aviator was about him.
I saw that.
Yeah, for some reason, he is just so fascinating to me. I have he's actually a movie director. I have some of his old movies that are in black and white. Terrible quality, but it's amazing to see what this amazing man has accomplished in his life. He's a billionaire. He designed and built all these planes for the military. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Spruce Goose, but it's one of the biggest planes ever made. It's made of all wood. And he actually flew it one time. No one ever thought it would fly because it was so big and it was made out of wood. And he was just, if you've seen the movie The Aviator, Leonardo DiCaprio does a great job of capturing how he made quick decisions. He recognized an opportunity and he said, let's do this, this, and this, and get on it right away. He's a quick decision maker. He didn't spend a lot of time dwelling on things. So Howard Hughes, and also I have this thing with aviation. I'm actually in the process of learning to fly planes and getting my pilot's license. And he was a big-time aviator, and I'm so interested in his life and his career, and aviation was a big part of his career. So when I think of situations like you're speaking of, I guess I sort of look at Howard Hughes and see how he would handle things. I mean, I don't do that on a daily basis, but he sort of is my hero and my role model. I mean, it's just so fascinating to me. If you ever get to see one of his movies from, one of them's called Hell's Angels, actually. It's one of his first movies. It's about, I believe, World War I, and has all these fight scenes with planes. It's in black and white. It's really, really neat. If you ever get to see it, definitely check it out.
I'll have to. Well, if you had 3 wishes for your life in the world that would instantly come true, what would they be?
For myself or for...
For yourself and the world. And you get 3 wishes total, and you can't wish for more wishes.
I would say, let's see. I would say an end to disease, an end to world hunger, and I would say very important, especially in this day and age, and just peace throughout the world. I wish. Now, I won't live long enough to see this, but hopefully one day my kids' will live on a peaceful earth, especially in places like the Middle East. Peace on earth. I mean, imagine that. How unbelievable would that be?
Boy, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the In Search of Heroes program and its impact on youth, parents, and business people?
I think it's tremendous because you're just sort of spreading the right message, and that's a message of, having heroes, people to look up to, staying positive, making the right decisions in life. And your website, insearchofheroes.com, is just unbelievable. I mean, there's so much great information on there. It's so motivating to go to your website and listen to their interviews and see the difference you've made in people's lives, especially young people, and in business. You've been in these conferences and seminars, and you put up the pictures and done the interviews, and there's just tremendous information there for people to take, and it's all free. And it's unbelievable what you've done, and I'm so glad to be part of it. So thank you so much for for having me in your Heroes program.
No, you're very welcome, Jason. You're the type of role model that I hope that young people will be able to follow. And I'm just grateful for your help in the eBay program, because I think that's the fastest way people can become an entrepreneur and start making money within a day.
Yeah, I know from experience. I mean, if you have something, you might have heard this a million times, but start with things around your house. If you have something in your house you want to sell, sign up for an eBay account. Take a few pictures, write a good description, put it up there, and boom. I mean, you can be, if someone buys it now, goes to buy it now, and you don't have an auction, you can, have sold that thing in one day. It's crazy. It's just a great way to make money.
Yeah, well, that's great. So it's an integral part of the Heroes program is to help people learn business and learn how to write and take photos and learn accounting, and I'm looking forward to your assistance. And I know how busy you are, and I really appreciate the time that you invested in this interview, and I really congratulate you on your new project that's coming out, because I too feel that video is the most effective way of getting a message across. And I think you saw on our Hero site some of the videos that I did of the Heroes interviews.
Yep.
And I think technology has finally caught up with the ability to deliver audio, video, and words all at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think online multimedia in general, audio and these talking animations, talking websites, and video especially, it's going to be, huge. There's going to be online TV stations and, all these different things with video and audio, and it's just going to be the next big thing, and I'm so glad to be part of it. And the videos you have on your site are great, and so I'm just trying to ride that wave as far as we can and take advantage of it.
Well, I know your project's going to be a great success, and so I look forward to working with you. And again, thanks for your time.
You're welcome, Ralph. Thank you for having me on the call. The new project is called Uncut Internet Marketing, and it is a series of videos made from some of today's top marketers, and that would be at uncutmarketing.com. People want to get more information on that.
Yeah, can you spell that out for the people that are listening?
Sure. It's Uncut, UNCUT, marketing.com, MARKETING, uncutmarketing.com. And the name Uncut simply means that these marketers made videos that are real, uncensored, unscripted, unrehearsed. They just sort of, made a video on what they know and put it together for me.
Well, that's great. And then you have a blog on there too, don't you? Can they access the blog from that particular website?
Yes, I have a blog set up with updates as to what's happening with the launch, and that's at uncutmarketing.com/blog.
That's great. Well, what I'll do is when I post your interview and the parts of it, I'll put it up into maybe 15 or 20 leading up to your launch, which is going to be July 11th, and people can actually access it right directly from the In Search of Heroes blog and also from your Heroes page.
That would be great. That would be great, Ralph. Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome. So I look forward to working with you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Ralph.